Hello, this is Keith from EdgeCoders.com here with a quick tutorial on how to use Adobe Edge with server-side language pages like Coldfusion and PHP. As some of you might have noticed, this isn't natively built into the preview yet, but hopefully it will be a feature that they will include soon. So to start off, let me just show you a quick page that I have here, very simple. I'm not a designer, so bear with it. Just currently housing the logo for my iPhone development company, Omegasoft. Now this is a .cfm page, so Coldfusion. And what's interesting about this for the purposes of the tutorial is that this image is dynamically coming from a database, which is being controlled from this little simple tool I built. As you can see, you can choose a file to upload. And the code for that page is here, testview.cfm. So you can see it has some Coldfusion code here that's pulling from a database and then populating the image based on that. But again, Adobe Edge currently cannot open these files. So if I tried to say drag this in, nothing happens. Also similarly, if I try to open it from inside, it just doesn't open. So if I want to bring Edge features like animation into this page, what I can do right now is save the output of this Coldfusion page, which is HTML, and try to work with that, and then bring those changes back into my Coldfusion page. Save it. Now this we can open in Edge. So there we are. So I'm just going to do some very simple animation on this. So I'll start off by having this invisible. So I'll drop a mark at 0 seconds and make it invisible, opacity 0%. And I want to stay invisible for 1 second, so I'll drop another mark right there. And then let's make it fade in over 2 seconds. So dropping a mark again at 3 seconds with the opacity, 100%. Let's just take a quick look at that. Okay, that's good. And just to make this not quite so boring, let's add some animation as well. So back to 1 second, I'll drop a mark for location. Let's make it 500, so it'll come from the bottom. And then moving back to 3 seconds, drop another mark for location, and back to 0 seconds. So hopefully that should fade from the bottom to the top. It does. And again, a little bit boring, so let's try to add some easing to this, which, if you're not familiar with that term, if you're new, if you haven't migrated from Flash or something, easing just is a measure of how smoothly or the nature of the curve of the animation. So for instance, let's just pick easing in. So it starts out slow and then accelerates. Let's try something a little bit cooler that they've added into Edge here. Let's try ease out elastic. Alright, that's pretty cool. It bounces in there. So this is all I'm going to do right now. And then we're going to save this project. Save as. Let's put it into a new folder. And there we go. And we get a crash. So this seems to be a problem with the current version of the preview in that I think I've narrowed it down to the fact that if you're working on an existing HTML page that has an external graphical file, which would probably be almost everything you're working on, something about the fact that it's not copied into the local resources causes this crash. I've notified the Edge developers about this, and they said they're working on it. It's a legitimate issue. So if you have that issue, you're not alone, and hopefully it will be fixed soon. Now, since I knew this was going to happen, I saved the project on a PC, which doesn't exhibit this issue. So we can continue from there. So now you'll just have to imagine that I saved that project. And when that project would have got saved, it would have created this folder, or would have created these assets where I saved it. So it's the global Edge includes and the one specific to the project that I'm working on here, TestView Edge CSS, TestView Edge JavaScript, and here is the file that is saved. So let's just take a quick look at that. And Dreamweaver here. So you can see the Edge includes appear at the top here in the head. So now to bring this into my Coldfusion page, all I have to do is copy this, open that original Coldfusion page, testview.cfm, and paste them in and save. Now, like a cooking show, I already have one in the oven, so I'm going to cancel out of that. And that file I had saved previously and named testview edge and uploaded. So now you can browse to that and take a look. So here we are, testview edge.cfm, and we have that animation. Now, so far, nothing more interesting than what we can already do with Edge. The cool thing is, because this is Coldfusion, and remember we have that tool, I can change the image. Let's change to the EdgeCoders logo, upload, and this page will reflect that. Which is pretty cool. Now obviously this is a very simple example where all I was doing with my Coldfusion is making this little image upload tool. But you can see through a similar technique you could bring edge animations into any of your Coldfusion or PHP projects. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and found it informative. Once again, this is Keith from EdgeCoders.com. Happy coding, designing, or whatever it is you do.